Hello, welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here today. It's nice to see everybody in the chat. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Felicia, and I am from SweetGeorgia Yarns. I am from the School of Sweet Georgia. This is the live office hours that we do once a month, every month on the last Thursday of every month. And we just come here to sort of catch up about everything that's been happening inside the school. I use this time to sort of connect with you and find out about, things that you guys have made. A lot of what we do in these sessions is share what you have made, and we talk about what is coming up in the school. So I'm really, really excited to see everybody here in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. Of course, this session, if you can't stay for the entire thing, we do record all of these sessions and then we host them in the School of Sweet Georgia in the library. So you can rewind, catch them anytime. You can go back and revisit old projects, anything that you like there. Fantastic. Yeah, I see everybody in the chat here. It's really, really lovely to see everybody. Good morning. Hello. Wonderful. Yes. So if this is your first time coming to a live session, thank you for coming. Welcome. And yeah, let me share with you what we are going to talk about today. My screen is so small. Here we go. There we go. So here is our agenda for today. Just basically the things that we run through, and we talk about sort of what's top of mind. We show updates about what's happening inside the school, upcoming events. We're going to talk a little bit about community and where to find each other. And then we do Q&A sometimes if you guys have any questions. If you do have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat and we can help answer them as we go through. Or you can always message us in the forums or on Discord to ask us any of your questions. And a lot of people are helping each other out. We have obviously moderators as well. You might recognize Vicky or Robin in our SOS forums, community forums, and they answer a lot of questions as well. Instructors answer questions in any case. Yeah, if you have questions, you can pop them there. And then we're going to do a share your win section, which is basically talking about the things that you have made and showing everybody all of the wonderful creations. Now you can see in my little photo here, this is a snapshot of all of my crackle samples in the bathtub. So this is wet finishing for all the crackle samples that were going to be part of the course that we are currently filming. So really excited that that was all happening because I think I have been weaving that same crackle warp for about a year. And so I'm really, really excited to be able to share all of that with you guys very, very shortly. But let's talk about more things. So first, what is top of mind? So first thing is about this course that we're filming right now. So currently, Greta, who's in the chat here today, Greta is our education program coordinator at the school. Greta and Kathy together are helping film the weaving course that we are putting out in 2024. And so this course has been obviously like a long time coming. I've been weaving overshot for a while, weaving crackle for a while, and I'm weaving summer and winter, and really, really wanting to be able to share that with all of you, but putting it together in a really, really comprehensive way. Honestly, to be very honest, I was very scared about putting together this course because there are so many concepts that could be really confusing, and they are not all reference books talk about things in the same way. And so what I really, really wanted to do was read very widely and read a lot of different resources for this information so that I could cross-check, so that I could compare, see what all the different weavers and different authors were saying about any particular topic so that I could present something that would be more clear, that would be understandable enough for you to go and sit at the loom and make something, but also give you enough language and enough background so that way when you do go and read a reference book about crackle or about overshot, that you're not like, what is this talking about? I've never seen anything like this. I don't understand. Um, and so that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So hoping that that will be all very, very clear for you guys. And again, uh, this course that I'm filming is actually 3 courses. So it's a overshot course, and then it will be a crackle course, and then it will be a summer and winter course. And all of these courses are under the umbrella of supplementary weft block weaves. So it sounds like a big long term, but it's really one big umbrella, and then these are all units within that, or weave structures within that umbrella. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. But you can see there on the loom here, I have a little snapshot of the project that is currently on film. We captured all of that and filmed all of that, and it's just variations on treadling overshot. So exactly the same threading, just all the crazy different things that you can do with an overshot threading just by changing weft, changing colors, changing order, changing sequences, all the crazy things that you can do. So I'm really, really looking forward to sharing all of that with you. Now, one of the things that I should probably let you know is that these courses are not necessarily theory based, because they have a bit of a sampler component to them. Like, the idea is that you put on a really narrow warp and then you experiment. You need a chance to play with the different structures and figure it out, sit at the loom and, weave and throw shuttles and all of that kind of stuff. And then once you've done that, then the idea is that then you can go and design your own project. You can design your own towels, design your own whatever. However, thinking about if maybe you want a project out of this, weave a project as you go. What kind of pattern or project would you be interested in weaving with something like an overshot weave structure or a crackle weave structure? If you have any sort of top of mind ideas of things that you wish that we would make a pattern or a project for, like a series of crackle towels in gradient colors or something like that, whatever that is, we can put that together and then combine that with the course. And so that's what we're looking at doing right now. So over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, that is what we're at. And with filming these classes, it's quite a lot, and we're filming it just before we move the studio. So this is like the last part of the studio to be moved, is this filming room, because the loom does not fit through the door. It cannot be moved. The loom cannot be moved. I knew that when I built the loom, when I was building the Leclerc Mira loom. I think I even said it on camera. It's like, this loom will have to stay here forever because it cannot be removed from the room without being broken down into sticks again. So that's kind of what we're doing. So it's basically been 2 days of filming lecture content, 2 days of filming crackle weaving content. There's going to be 1 day of overshot at the loom, and possibly 1 or 2 days of summer and winter at the loom. And so overall, it's about 6 or 7 days of filming to make this course. So I'm really, really grateful for the help of Greta and Kathy and everyone for putting all of this together. So excited for you to see it. So the next thing that is sort of top of mind is that we've been talking for the past couple of months about planning for 2024, planning for 2024, planning for 2025. A lot of the content that we have for 2024, we've already arranged and it's ready. It's not entirely filmed, but it's getting ready. It's in the process of being ready. And so we have to work with this very broad, long-term view of what we're going to be making. And so we have always said that the courses that we're making initially, it was very fundamental courses. We have to cover a lot of ground. We have to make sure everybody has the foundations and the basics of everything that they need to know for spinning, for weaving, for knitting, for crochet, for tapestry, just the foundations of everything. And then from there, then we can explore, color, then we can explore how these things go together. How do you weave with yarn that you spun? How do you spin with fiber that you dyed? How do you, just all of the things and how they all cross over. And so we have always talked about how we're making courses for you, for the membership. And so that's why it's really, really been important to us to hear everyone's feedback about what it is you actually want us to make courses about. And so we recently sent out a message about doing a survey, asking everybody what their hopes and dreams and wishes are for the course content. And so we looked through all of that. We researched and dug around in all of that data to see what was happening. And so we can see I put some results up here so that you can see as well, is that about 50% of our membership sort of self-identifies as being advanced knitters. So we kind of knew that. A lot of people, well, majority of everybody in the school is a knitter, and 50% of them are advanced knitters. Majority of our members will describe themselves as beginner to intermediate. Big window, but beginner to intermediate, spinning, weaving, dyeing, and any other fiber arts like tapestry or needle felting, all of that kind of stuff. We also have quite a number of crocheters. So from my look at the data, it looks like we have approximately the same number of spinners as we do crocheters, and they're quite a large proportion of our membership as well. A lot of spinners. And I asked the question, which craft do you like the best? Do you like spinning the best? Do you like knitting the best? And actually 48% of our members said they couldn't pick. They love all of them. They are multi-craftual, which is basically what we're here for. This is the sort of, we say, it's the home of the multi-craftual maker. It's for someone who likes to spin and weave and dye and knit and crochet and do all the things and make all the stuff with all the yarn and the fiber. And so I'm really, really quite pleased, quite not surprised in some way to see that like 48% of our members wouldn't pick one craft over another. They love all of them. And so that's kind of neat to see. But the areas that members requested more content were 47% of the respondents asked for more weaving content, 40% asked for more spinning, 27% asked for more dyeing content, 24% asked for more design and color content, and 23% asked for more knitting content. And so that is kind of what we were looking at and the data that we're working with. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments if you guys are watching, if you think this fits with what your responses might be or where you might feel like you fit. And so I talked about this last month as well, the idea of taking the whole year and breaking it up into quarterly themes. It feels like because we are a very special and unique group of makers who like all of these different crafts, and a lot of the feedback that I've received over the years is that there's never enough time. There's always too many things to do. There's too many projects to work on. It's very difficult to join a make along because you're not sure about the time commitment. You're not sure you can finish. Making things with other people can sometimes also be very stressful because you feel pressed for time. It's just a lot of it is a time issue and it's a volume issue. There's so much we want to do. It's very difficult to accomplish everything we want to do. And then if we were to do monthly themes, it's too much. It's too much, too fast. It's too much. And so having maybe like a broader quarterly theme, we thought would be a little bit more relaxing. You could spend 3 months just getting into a topic. And so the themes that we broke it down to would be like Q1, January, February, March, to focus on color, however you want to explore color, whether it's color in knitting, like stranded color work, or it's color in spinning, mixing and marling yarns, plying different colors together, combo ply, combo spin, all the different things you can do to play with color. We have tons of fiber prep color blending classes for spinning, absolutely. Or you could be doing color and mixing color, making color combinations for crochet projects, for knitting projects, for weaving projects. So a lot of stuff to do with color. And so we're going to just kind of like relax into that theme of playing with color for the first quarter. And then the second quarter in the springtime, we'll look at sort of complexity. So that could be anything from, learning to knit lace for the first time, learning to knit cables, maybe doing something trickier that you haven't learned before. And so we might approach, looking at different weave structures, all sorts of things like that. So that might be complexity, however you want to think of the word complexity. And then summer, Q3, that is basically July, August, September. July, August, September is typically summer vacation for a lot of people. Might be winter vacation for some people, but it's summer vacation for a lot of people. And when I think about summer vacation, I think about, we are camping, we are out, the kids are not in school, we are running around. What are we doing? And what can you do with your multi-craftual mind that is portable. What can you take with you? What can you pop in your purse or pop in your bag and take with you? So whether it's a knitting project or a crochet project, or maybe it is being able to spin on a spindle, take a spindle with you, take a Turkish spindle, take a supported spindle, take a drop spindle with you. Maybe it's popping an e-spinner in your backpack because they are so small now and they can be very, very portable. Maybe it is weaving on a little handheld tapestry loom. Maybe it's weaving on an inkle loom. There's lots of different things that we could do in terms of vacation mode, travel, portability, movability, all of that kind of stuff. Absolutely, Diana's saying spindles are so portable. Yes. And then finally, in the fall, which we're saying is October, November, December, it is really, I feel like it's a time where everybody wants to, well, I want to, I want to cocoon and be cozy and be at the fireplace and think about like autumn and leaves and just, there's a nesting instinct. I know that I'm my yeah, I'm fond of this idea of nesting, being on the couch and being cozy and all this kind of stuff. And so coming down to the idea of simplicity, calming down, quieting down, it's like closing down for the year and focusing on just making things that are a little bit more simple. I used to call it potato chip knitting, and just, you know, things that you can make without really thinking too hard about it, but really enjoying it and just indulging in that process. Part of that is the idea of making good cloth. And so, a while back, Amanda Buckley, who's a member of the school here, she wrote an article about what is good cloth. And we had a really good conversation about like, what does good cloth mean? It doesn't always mean like the most complex cloth or the cloth that has so many colors in it or cloth that blah, 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 blah. It's cloth that might be functional. It might be good for one situation, but maybe not good for another situation. So really think about what is good cloth to you and how do you make good cloth? You can make good, amazing, perfect, wonderful, functional cloth with the absolute simplest of weave structures. Or you can do something super complicated if you want to, but just it's a time to simplify. And so maybe a lot of our projects during that time might be rigid heddle, plain weave, simple twills, things like that. And so we can just kind of enjoy and focus on that. So that's kind of the broad picture of next year's 4 themes. And we're hoping that we can keep these 4 themes, quarterly themes going as we go into New Year's as well. And then specifically, the proposed content that we have coming for 2024 is we're breaking them down into sort of 4 pillars, I guess. So one is spinning pillar, making sure that there is spinning content throughout the year. So spinning content throughout the year because we have such a large component of spinners in in this school. So we have coming spinning a braid 5 different ways. We have looking at tension systems on your spinning wheel. So what's the difference between double drive and Scotch tension and Irish tension? How do you set it? How do you use it? All of those kinds of things. We'll be looking at singles. We'll be looking more at spindles because they are so portable and accessible. So that is the spinning side of things. Same with weaving. We want to make sure that there is enough weaving content throughout the year. So we have overshot, crackle, summer and winter. And then we're looking at making a garment on a rigid heddle loom, or you could obviously use a table loom, floor loom, whatever kind of loom you want. But it's the idea of making a very simple garment. We talked before in the school about being able to sew your your hand woven cloth, and so this is kind of like one step towards that direction of looking at making a garment on a rigid heddle loom. And then in the dyeing section, I have for a long, long time had this on my to-do list to basically teach um, some something about making hand painted warps. So being able to wind a warp, either dip dye, hand paint, however you want to dye it, but basically being able to dye hand painted warps before putting them on the loom and then working with them that way. So that's what I really, 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 really want to finally be able to do this year. So hand painted warps, we want to revisit indigo because it was so much fun. It was really, really great when we did it in the studio as a team, and we did it as a natural dye study group that summer. And indigo, it was remarkably easy to put together that vat and really fun. So we want to try going back and doing that again. Looking at color theory as well during the year, and Inkaloom has come up on our list of things that we want to do. So That's kind of in there. And then knitting and crochet, we have crochet textures, which is coming, grading knitwear. So looking at a pattern, if you're designing a knitted sweater, how do you go about grading that sweater to produce all the different sizes? What do designers do when they need to release a pattern? How do they make sure that they can make sizes for all, like pattern sizes for all sizes and shapes and all this kind of stuff. So that's a conversation that we're going to have next year as well. And then looking a lot more at stranded color work, because it's such an interesting way of combining multiple colors. It's a nice way to work with color. And then we're looking forward, even more forward, at 2025. What are we going to do in 2025? Um, and a lot of the spinning content, we want to have it cover cotton, spinning flax, again, more spindles, and then looking at spinning to weave. Many of our instructors in the school, because we have so many spinning classes, are spinners. So we have Diana Twist, who's here. Greta is a spinner. Rachel Smith is their spinning instructor. Katrina Stewart. And then we have Debbie Held. And then we have Kim McKenna. And then we have myself. We all teach spinning classes. And we all weave. And we might all use our handspun differently in weaving. And so I always thought it would be, we talked about how it would be a really interesting idea to go and ask each different spinning instructor how they weave. And we haven't put this entirely together, but I think it's interesting to hear different perspectives. How do we all do this? So we'll look at that in the future and see how we can put that together. But spinning to weave is an idea that we've had for a long time that we want to look at. And then with weaving, we also want to look at designing plaids and tartans. How do you go about combining colors and stripes and making a design that is nice, that you like, and how do we work with that? We want to talk about waffle weave. We want to talk about deflected double weave, which is, I find, so fascinating. And yeah, it looks really cool, and it is the idea of just weaving two layers of cloth, but they intersect at different spots, and then they create these very bold and graphic fabrics that can be very colorful. You could have differential shrinkage, so you could have some yarn in your fabric that is non-shrinking, like a silk. 100% silk doesn't shrink, or 100% cotton doesn't shrink, and then you combine it with something like 100% wool that'll felt, and when it felts or fulls, it just shrinks and pulls everything in, and then you have like just crazy fabric. So that's something that we want to also kind of take a look at in the future. In the dyeing section, we were talking about things like ice dyeing. We haven't covered that before. Card weaving, more needle felting. If you follow Charlotte on Instagram, Charlotte is our assistant production manager at SweetGeorgia, and she's also teaches all of the crochet classes on the school right now. It was her birthday yesterday. You can say happy birthday to Charlotte. And we have a member on our team who's Dyer and helps with lots and lots and lots of things at the studio. But Hoy is has picked up needle felting this past year with such a fire for needle felting. And he started needle felting like small little things, and then gradually got bigger and started needle felting realistic looking cats. Amazing, like realistic, almost full size looking cats. And then yesterday he felted a what looks like a chicken. It's actually like a little cartoon character, but it looks like a chicken. And Charlotte posted it on her Instagram, and it's very, very cute. But it's a it's a needle felted chicken that's about this big, and it looks amazing. It looks amazing. I don't know. Is it actually a chicken? It looks like a chicken. In any case, needle felting, you can take it from, like, my daughter who is 7, she needle felted this summer for the first time. Needle felted these tiny little things. You could do that, or you could do huge things. So I feel like there's so much to explore around that side. And then again, with knitting and crochet, we were talking about color work again, intarsia, mosaic knitting. So that's kind of what we're looking at for the new year and beyond. Yes. Did I? Oh, did I write it? Oh, okay. I'm going to skip ahead. Okay. So that is basically what we were talking about in terms of planning. Okay. And then in terms of latest updates, I'll show you what is coming actually in January 2024. 2024. So first, just want to remind everybody that the sectional warping class recently came out with Laura Fry. And that hopefully has been, I've seen lots and lots of feedback in the school, in the forums. I have something to show you guys later that is also amazing as well, that's related to the sectional warping. But if you haven't tried it yet, I encourage you to take a look at the video and see if this might be something that would be for you. If you would look at, upgrading your loom in a way to include a sectional warp beam and what that might do for your weaving or how it might change your process. Yeah, I'm really, really excited about this content because you cannot find it anywhere. And this is why we asked Laura to make it, is because you just cannot. I couldn't find any information about how to do sectional warping anywhere. And so we wanted to make sure that we made it so that you would have it as well. Next is Colorwork Mitts, has just come out with Caitlin Shepard. And so this is a stranded colorwork class that is here about making those beautiful deery mitts. They are very, very sweet. I love the antler patterns and everything like that. It's just really cute. So I would love to see what everybody is making with their mitts. Yes. We also have the Crochet Amigurumi class that is coming soon in December. And like I said before, Charlotte also has other crochet content coming soon as well. But yeah, I said my daughter, she did her first ever craft fair a couple weeks ago. Yeah, maybe 2 weeks ago. And the most popular thing at this Christmas craft fair was crochet amigurumi octopuses. And so all the kids who were roaming around the craft fair, everybody had bought a crochet octopus. It was really, really fun, but they are very popular. Lots of people are making them. And so if you want to learn how to crochet these little shapes and make your own little characters and everything like that from scratch, then this is the place to be. So you can check that out in a couple of weeks. Now for January, what's coming in January is we are going to re-release our Color Play class, Color Play Revisited. I'm not sure if we're going to keep that name, or we might call it something else. In any case, it is the course where we talk about how to combine different colors, how to create color palettes, how do you choose colors for like a 5-color project. One of the things that's come across my feed recently is this artist shawl. And it's a beautiful mosaic shawl that uses 5 different colors. And I've been looking at it. All the photos keep coming in my feed. The fact that I'm talking about it now, Instagram's probably listening and it's going to send me more photos of this in my feed. But the artist shawl, ARTUS. And it's beautiful. And so I have been thinking a lot about what 5 colors would I combine together to make this mosaic shawl. And so this is the perfect course for something like that, just choosing the colors that you want for various projects. The next thing we have coming is with Kim McKenna, we have filmed a class called Spin a Braid 5 Ways. And so this photo is just one of the ways that you can spin a yarn. That color is the Beachside Brunch colorway that we dye. I love this colorway, but she's taken this colorway and spun it in 5 different ways that look really, truly different and amazing. And of course, Kim's handspun is so pretty. It's so pretty and so squishy and so smooth and so perfect. And so I love seeing her handspun. I love seeing her spin. And yes, when this course comes out, it's going to be very, very exciting to see all this. We have, like I mentioned, Crochet Textures coming out with Charlotte. And so if you've done her courses before, you already know all the basics. She's taught chain, she's taught tensioning, she's taught how to hold her crochet hook, she's taught single crochet, double crochet, all the stitches, how to increase, how to decrease. And now this is looking at different kinds of textures, puff stitches. You could take one of these textures and make an entire blanket. Lots and lots of different things that you could do. So the crochet class is coming as well. This is not all January. This is Q1. Just a reminder, this is all Q1. So first 3 months of next year. And then we also have the Overshot class is going to come out first. And so very excited for that to come out. Yes, tell me what you are looking forward to. What are you looking forward to for 2024? What are you most excited about? You can tell me in the comments here. So for upcoming events, I just want to highlight for you, this is the schedule for January. So you can see here, we have our Crafternoons with Robin on these Mondays. So those are sort of informal meeting times. You bring whatever craft you want, sit and hang out with her and chat. And so those are Mondays. We also have an informal hangout meetup crafternoon session with Vicky on Saturday. And then the purple sessions here, these are all co-working sessions. So these are the virtual co-working sessions that we have been running for a while. And they are basically silent sessions, silent working sessions. You come, everybody puts themselves on mute, we work for an hour, and then we share our wins at the end. And it has been very productive for, I think, the people who are coming. It's been very productive for me. So those are the purple sessions there. We have the second Friday of every month, I do a live stream on YouTube called Taking Back Friday. And then here we have a holiday crafternoon scheduled on December 27th. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in a second. But you can see this big, long red line here. This big, long red line covering the entire holidays between the 22nd and January 2nd, is basically when the Sweet Georgia studio is closed. Like the doors are closed, everybody is at home, and nobody comes into the studio to work between Christmas and New Year's. And we've done this for a number of years, and it is because everybody needs rest. And so that is a good time for sort of like everybody to be at home with their families and to have some time to rest. And so during that time, we may be slower to respond to emails. And so just a quick, heads up to let you know that we are still here. We're not going anywhere, but we might be a little bit slower to answer any messages or any comments, any tags on the forums and things like that. But yes, that is just a time when everybody is kind of resting. And that's why I just wanted to remind you about that time. So yes, the co-working sessions, basically hosted on Zoom. You can find the link through the menu. And if you come to those sessions, then we spend 5 minutes just saying hi. We spend 50 minutes working on our projects and then 5 minutes at the end sharing our wins. And so this picture is the overshot inlay that I wove during one of those virtual co-working sessions. And I honestly have to say, like, a lot of the work that I did to prepare for this class, for these block weaving classes, they happened during the co-working sessions. I even like filmed during one of the sessions because like it's so important to dedicate time to working on the things that you want to do. And without having that time where you have to be accountable to other people, sometimes that time doesn't come around. So that's why it's been really, really important to have that time. Finally, I want to mention the holiday crafternoon. So it's going to be hosted by our host extraordinaire, which is Robin. Robin, I think you're here in the chat today too. But usually during the holidays, we do not have a live office hours. So there's not going to be a December live office hours. And so instead, we just thought we could have this sort of informal holiday crafternoon. It will be Wednesday, December 27th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, hosted by Robin, and you can just bring whichever project you want. It's very casual, just hang out and chat with the other members inside the school. And so the link to that is on the calendar and you can find that right there. So let's talk first about community. So this is just a reminder that you can share your projects, you can ask questions, you can share progress, you can share lots of things inside the SOS community forums. And so that is, if you haven't been there yet, it's schoolofsweetgeorgia.com/community. Everything is there, and it gives you a space to write sort of like even very long form questions, share a lot of photos. It's searchable. It's thread based, so you can find the topic that you are specifically talking about. You can start your own topics. For many people, this is a great space to connect with instructors. You can type at and then the name of your instructor, and then you can ask questions. You can ask any of us as well. And so that is a really, really, hopefully very useful space in the school. We always talk about how the school is like these two halves. One half is content, like the videos and things, and then the other half is this community, because there is a ton of content inside the community. So if you haven't been there yet, or if you haven't searched for anything like that yet, I would go into the community, search for some things that you're interested in, and see all of the conversations that have happened about that topic. So excited to share that with you guys. The other thing that we have is we started this past year in 2023, we started a Discord channel. So Discord is like a separate company, but they create this app that allows for communities to have more continuous chat, more, it's just quicker chat messages, really. And so on Discord, we have a much sort of like a large community. I think there's like over 800 people there on our Discord channel right now. Everybody from the Sweet Georgia community who's sharing anything that they might be making, spinning, weaving, dyeing. There's machine knitting, there is punch needle, there's all sorts of things on the Discord channel. And so people are sharing photos of things that they've made and all sorts of things like that. And so we have these different modes that you can connect with the community. And you can connect either in this sort of long form way on the community forums, or you can connect in this sort of chat based way on Discord. So that is there as well. And then finally, we thought that this would be helpful during the holidays when we might not be around as much. But if you want to make your own meetup, we do have a open Zoom room. Like, it's an always open Zoom room, and you can just sort of arrange to meet with other members in the community. Just say, hey, on Tuesday at 8 p.m., I'm going to be doing blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be spinning at 8 p.m. on Tuesday night. Does anybody want to join me? And you can just pop that into the forums, and then you can both join, or everybody can join that Zoom room at the same time and just hang out. So somebody just has to say, hey, I want to do this at this time, and then everybody can also come in and join you for that. So that is always available for members. It's an always open Zoom room for you to connect in. Okay, now I want to share some of the things that you guys have been posting inside the school. They are fantastic. I am so excited about some of these things. Okay, the first thing is very timely. This is, in preparation for the holidays. This is referencing back to the needle felting course that Charlotte taught last year, I think it is. And so this is all these needle felted ornaments. This photo is by Leanne. And she says, thanks, Charlotte. This was a fun class. I've been needle felting for quite some time, but never thought to use it to make ornaments. So this is a great idea. So this is a great time, actually, if you are decorating your tree now, if you have a tree, to make some felted ornaments. But she says that I used to teach children. I used to teach the craft to children, most of whom love feeling grown up and being allowed to play carefully with sharp things. And agency is so key with kids. So the idea of using pre-made balls for the younger crowd would be a perfect introduction to needle felting. And so these round balls, Leanne didn't like needle felt each ball. These are pre-made dryer balls. And so then the kids were able to felt on top of the dryer ball that was already pre-made. She bought them in bulk. And then you could just felt your own picture onto this dryer ball. Is such a cool idea. And especially to do it with kids. I know that with Nina and her girlfriends, like the craft that they had the most affinity to after this summer's fiber arts camp was the needle felting, because it was just so quick and so accessible. So that was really, really neat to see. And I couldn't get over this Grinch face down here. This is so well done. Like, that's fantastic. So you see little butterflies, see little stockings, see flower, all these things that have been needle felted onto these dryer balls. Fantastic. And then I had to share one more picture of that because um, this one, Leanne says, is her 14-year-old made this little fox face, and it's fantastic. Love that. So thank you so much for sharing that with all of us. So yeah, great time to make your ornaments right now. This one I wanted to share with you because we just talked about how the sectional course went out. And this is by Kate. Kate sent these photos of the sectional beam that her husband made for her. So it's pretty amazing. But Kate says, it's perfect timing for this course for me. I was waiting anxiously as my husband built a beautiful sectional warp beam for my 46-inch shacked floor loom. So you could see these wood pieces. He put all of these he put all these metal staples into the warp beam. And so Kate describes it very, very sort of like more in depth. And she says she already had a tensioning box that she used with a different loom. So then she kind of reconfigured that to work with this loom. So I think it's just amazing that you can build your own sectional warp beam. And so you can follow this thread here, and it has all the instructions, well, not instructions, but it has in-depth description of how she did it and everything. And then this is the towel that she's currently weaving. And so she basically said that then she was able to, using the sectional warp beam, she put on a 12.5 yard warp. You know, this is the point of the sectional warp beam, is to be able to put on longer warps more efficiently and easier. And so put on a 12.5 yard warp for making a dozen towels for Christmas presents. And she's already on towel number 4. So that is fantastic. Success. It's a win. So I am encouraging everybody down this sectional warp beam path. So thank you so much for sharing that, Kate. It's wonderful for your new loom. This is from Julie. Julie has knit this gorgeous handspun lace shawl. So she says, my latest project is done. This braid is from Fiber Love Dairy. Targhee top named Shelly that was spun and then chain plied. So it is this gradient yarn, chain plied gradient yarn. The pattern is called Peacock's Tail. And so you can check out that entire project here at this thread. In terms of spinning sort of that chain plied gradient yarn, we talk about that in a number of spinning classes, but I do talk about that in the spinning intentional color class if you ever wanted to learn how to do that. And I have a photo here of her yarn. And so you can see how this yarn fades from this golden color into sort of more of like an ochre color, like a wheat color, and then the gray and then the blue color. Absolutely gorgeous. And if you look really, really close, you can see sort of like the 3-ply nature of the yarn. It's very round. It's beautiful, beautiful yarn. And of course, these gradients are so fun to make into beautiful things, and to have it in this beautiful lace shawl, just really lovely. So congratulations on that. Thank you for sharing, Julie. We have more handspun yarn. So these are from Nicole. Nicole has been sharing a lot of handspun yarns actually in the forums. And so you can see that in this thread here under the Spinning from Scratch thread. And so Spinning from Scratch is a course that we have on the school for anybody who wants to learn how to spin, who has never touched fiber before. Never touched a wheel, never touched a spindle, never touched fiber. So it's like the act of taking that first fiber, pre-drafting it, how do you add twist, all of that kind of stuff. And so this class is hopefully helping lots of people get started with spinning for the very first time. So Nicole's just posted a whole series of handspun yarns that she's done, and she's spinning most of these on the EEW6. And then there's another one where she says the pink was all done on a spindle. So excited about all of that. And then she did say later on in this thread, she says, I wish I had started this journey 15 years ago. So if you have ever wondered, oh, that you're interested in learning how to do some of these things, I say just get started. What is the worst thing that could happen, right? This is another one of the handspun yarns from Nicole. And it's on a different thread where she was saying that she's been spinning for a month on the EW6, but she forgot to put one of the pieces on there. One of the parts was missing while she was spinning. And so now the e-spinner is super, super quiet. but yeah, it's been spinning fine. She's been making great yarn so far. So that looks wonderful. I love the colors. They're so, so poppy, so fun. And so this fiber is actually from a vendor called Jakira Farms, and it's BFL, 4 ounces of BFL. These towels are woven by Nina. And so I wanted to share these ones. They are really, really lovely. If you've ever wanted to learn how to weave something like this, we do have the course, the Multi-Shaft Weaving Basics course. That one starts you off with 4 shafts. I believe this towel pattern, I think it's 8 shafts. I would have to look again at the draft. But if you are interested in something like this, Nina in her thread here has actually linked to the weaving draft that she used to weave these towels. So they're called Tulip Towels, I believe. No, wait. no, it's tulipsquarehandmade.com. That's where she got it from. And so in this big thread, Nina also talks about how she added a shuttle race to her table loom to make it easier for her to weave. And so she's been weaving all of these towels. She what did she say? She managed to finish the towels for my neighbor. She did the wet finishing, and I serged and sewed the edges. So that's fun. It's kind of tag team on that one. And so she's very, very excited about that. And I would check out her entire thread. Nina's learning plan is very in depth of all the things that she's been working on. So it's fantastic. Congratulations on finishing those towels. We have some 2 at a time Prismatic Socks here by Kate. And she says, she liked the approach to the heel turn and picking up stitches along the heel flap. And she says, that's definitely my most detested part of sock knitting, and you made it so much easier to manage. So that is in the new course that we released this past year about knitting socks 2 at a time. So knitting 2 socks at the same time so that when you finished, you have a pair of socks rather than having to knit 1 sock at a time. And so this yarn was Lang yarn. And they're 50-gram skeins with a very gentle color change and no repeats. Great for socks. And she rewound the balls so that she could make it so that the pink and the white parts would be visible when she was wearing the socks. So that required a little bit of rewinding in order for that to happen. But they look really lovely. And we have here a slide of Elena. Elena's in the chat today. I saw you in the chat earlier. Of the Handspun Weave Along that happened in November. So Debbie Held, our spinning instructor, she hosted a sort of a weave along using your rigid heddle loom and taking all those bits and scraps of handspun yarn that you've made over the past year, over years, and just putting them all in a loom and making something with it. And so a lot of people joined in on this, and it's a lot of photos actually in Discord about the Handspun Weave Along, and so you can see what people have made. But this is one of the things that Elena put on her loom. And then she was saying, there's actually, if you follow the thread, the Weave Along progress thread here, you'll see she did finish the whole thing, and then she cut it off the loom, and I think she started another one as well. And so she says, after weaving mostly on the floor loom for the last year, I have to say it's almost a learning curve coming back to the rigid heddle loom again, remembering how to beat straight, and remembering to wind off enough yarn from the stick shuttle for an easy pass through the shed. But yeah, I think she's getting back into it, and yeah, it's fantastic. And she's warping up another rigid heddle loom now. So I hope that this is a process that gets everybody started, using your yarn, taking your handspun yarn, putting it on the loom really, really easily, and then making something out of it. I always love seeing it. It's mesmerizing watching all of these colors interlace, especially handspun yarn, because there's so much happening in handspun yarn, and there's all these little bits, especially like here, you can just see all of the mixing and blending of all these different colors, and I just love it. It's something that you can't make in any other way because they're not solid colors. You're not getting a solid orange and you're not getting a solid green. You're just getting all these mixes and blends of colors. And I just find the whole thing mesmerizing. Love it. So I hope that you guys were able to enjoy some of that process too if you participated in that. And then I have another couple photos to share with you. This is also, this is by Leanne, and she said this is her first ever fractal spun yarn. 4th hand spun yarn ever. So this is going to be quite impressive. This is beautiful fiber. It's gorgeous color. I think she said this is Malabrigo Archangel, which I also love. I feel like I have a skein of this colorway in my stash that has never been used because I love this colorway so much. But she said this is 2 combed top Malabrigo braids spun up and then swatched to a 2-ply sport weight yarn. And it's really lovely. So she's basically prepared this to be a first fractal spun yarn. And then if you follow the thread, there is the breakdown of all of the photos, including all of the individual singles that she's made, and then after it's been plied. And now I have a photo of her finished knitted swatch. And this, if this is your 4th ever the 4th handspun yarn ever and first fractal spun yarn. It is gorgeous. It's beautiful. The 2-ply, it looks fantastic. I think she is saying, Leanne said she used her Lendrum double treadle and spun with a short forward worsted draft. Absolutely gorgeous. Yes. So congratulations on that. Um, if you are unfamiliar with fractal spun yarn, for many spinners, I'm finding it's kind of a go-to format for approaching a color braid. So the idea is that you get a braid of fiber that is painted or dyed in some way, hand dyed, usually multicolored. Yeah, it's a multicolored braid of fiber, and then you split it. So you split it maybe in half, and then you use one half straight. You just spin it straight to a bobbin, and then you take the other half and then you can like split it multiple times to break up the color chunks a little bit more, and then spin each chunk to a separate bobbin and then ply the 2 yarns together. And so you're getting sort of a long color transition influenced by one of the singles. And then with the second single, you're getting sort of a more quicker rotation through the colors, and so that is causing more mixing and blending, and it's a nice way. It's a nice way to approach a braid in a very, it's kind of like a systematic way, having a habit so that you kind of know what you're going to get at the end of the day in some ways. But yeah, we talk about fractal spinning in several of our spinning classes, especially spinning with color kinds of classes. So spinning intentional color is one. I believe Katrina teaches that in her class, spinning up a level. There's a number of times where we've talked about fractal spun, handspun yarns. So that's something I encourage you to try if you have not yet tried that too. And that is all of the slides that I have for you guys today. As always, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being as part of the school. Thank you for participating in the forums, for coming out to the events, for coming out to this live stream, for just being a part of this and being just sharing your entire journey with us and being able to do all of these things and make all these things together. So really do appreciate you all being here and being part of this. And that is basically what we have for today. I am always open to hearing any thoughts or any suggestions you guys might have. You can always email me, of course. You can send me a message in the community forums, and I pop in there when I can. And it's wonderful to see you all here today, and really, really looking forward to 2024 and all the things that are coming up for that. And yeah, hope to see you guys at some of these virtual co-working sessions coming up, and any of the events that we're going to be having. So thank you so much for being here today. I will see you guys all in the next one. All right, bye for now.